Today, we're going to focus on what ties it all together in your business, your relationship with the customer. Let's be honest. We can have the best systems in the world, the most finely tuned pricing strategy that's always profitable. We can have a rock star team, but if we're not connecting with our customers, we're not really building a business. You're building that business on shifting sand. Welcome to the Home Services Revolution. My name is Chris Moore. Let's get into what real connection looks like, because that real connection, it impacts every stage of your customer journey. Before they hire you, while you're doing the job, and long after your work is done. Let me tell you about a client I worked with named Derek. He owned a growing HVAC business. Then he had really good people. I met them, worked with them, liked them. They got great reviews. They had a healthy amount of leads coming in, but his close rate was hovering around 40%. And he felt like he was constantly having to compete on price. We sat down and looked at his sales pipeline, and here's what I noticed. He was doing a decent job when he got in front of a customer, but between the first inquiry and the time he showed up for the estimate, nothing. There were no calls, there were no texts, there was no email. It was always just silence. So that may seem pretty normal. You know, we get a phone call, we schedule a time to go out there, we get there on time, but think about it from the customer's perspective. They call two different companies. I can tell you from experience, if you've ever worked in a storm event or high frequency event, they literally just go down the list, 10, 12, 15, 20 customers at a time. They call all these different companies. One sends a friendly confirmation message, a picture of who's coming, a link to a helpful fax page, and a reminder the day before, hey, this is when we'll get there. If you have any issues, please let us know. Here's a number to call. Here's the cell phone number of the tech that's coming to see you. We will see you on Tuesday. The other group just says on that first call, we'll see you on Tuesday. And then everything goes dark. Which one do you think they feel better about hiring? Now, I know from my standpoint, when I get confirmation calls before, when I get information that I need beforehand, when I know what to expect, when I know who to expect, I'm much more likely to buy. And two, the first person that I hear from as that follow-up is usually the person I buy from. That's exactly what happens with your customers. That's one of the most overlooked parts of the customer journey, is what happens before the sale. And that's where we're going to start today. So stage one, connecting before the close. The moment that someone contacts your company, whether it's through your website, you might have Facebook ads, a referral, or a phone call just from Google Maps, the clock starts ticking. They're watching how long it takes you to respond. Matter of fact, in the industry, it shows there is a definite close rate between ring number 2 and ring number 4. They're evaluating how well and how much you communicate. And they're deciding, often without even knowing it, it's a subconscious thing with us, whether or not to trust you. And this happens from the moment they land on your website, see your ad, make that phone call, and you answer the phone, and how you answer the phone has more to do with that than I think we even recognize most of the time. You know, I teach something in the book called the 3x3 rule. Within 3 minutes, 3 hours, and 3 days of initial contact, your business should make meaningful touch points. Here's how that breaks down. Within 3 minutes, if they call, answer live. If they fill out a form, they send an auto reply. There's a text confirming that you got it and when they will hear from you. Make sure in that first 3 minutes, even if you're just taking the phone call, send a quick text, send a quick email. Within 3 hours, follow up personally. This could be a phone call to schedule the estimate, a personal text message introducing yourself, maybe coming from the tech or your production manager that's going to go visit, giving them confidence that they're in good hands, they know who's coming, and that you are coming. Within 3 days, if they haven't booked yet, if you haven't been able to get out there for whatever reason, whatever's happening, it might even be that they're not available. They can't see you till the weekend, or they can't see you till next Wednesday. Send a value-based follow-up. Maybe it's just a helpful fact sheet. You know, here are some things you need to consider. One of the greatest things, here are some things that you will hear from others if you're checking with our competitors. Here's questions to ask that your competitors may not be ready to ask or don't want to ask, and that you can manage that expectation up front. Recent before and after pictures of a project so they know what to expect, how this project will run, and a reminder that maybe their estimate is still open if you've given that to them already. These little touches create massive connection. Why? Well, they show you care. They show who you are. They give you personality. They show your culture. They show that you're organized. And they show that you're not just in this to land a job, that you're trying to build trust with them. They feel heard. It's personalized. It's like you care. And I know you do. A remodeler I coach, they started sending out personalized Loom videos to prospects before the estimate. You don't know what Loom is? It's an online, really quick way. You can do it with your phone. You can do it sitting at your desk and send out a short message in an email that they can click on. This was just a 60-second video introducing himself, thanking them for reaching out, and explaining what to expect during the consultation. His close rate, just by sending out this little 60-second recorded video of him saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. Here's what to expect. Here's what's happening. It increased their close rate by over 20%. Didn't reduce their pricing. They didn't change their guarantee. They didn't do anything other than just send a 60-second video. And customers who they were already paying to get those leads increased by 20%. The work didn't change, but the connection that he had with his customer, massive change. Don't underestimate the power of the pre-sale connection. Stage number 2, connection during the job. So let's talk about what happens usually when we get on the job. Most companies go on autopilot here. Once you get the paperwork signed, everybody kind of ignores the customer and they just start doing their thing. But this is where your brand is either built or it's broken. In the Home Service Revolution book, I talk about the 3 touch points of trust: the welcome, the walkthrough, and the wrap-up. Let's talk through those. And I'll share how you can use these to make that customer connection even stronger. Let your brand really shine through. Welcome. The first moment your tech or crew shows up, this is what sets the tone for the whole time. How they're dressed, the expression on their face, are they clean? Are your trucks clean? The very moment they show up, a warm greeting, a clean uniform, a quick introduction, and a smile goes a long way. Just putting on little booties over your boots can make all the difference in the world. Some companies, they add in a branded folder or a flyer explaining the job process. Here's who to contact. Here's some phone numbers. Here's after hours. It just goes into, again, building that relationship and showing the customer from the beginning how you are different. And then there's the walkthrough. This is where the customer hears what's about to happen. You explain what you're doing and how long it'll take and what to expect. This eliminates surprises and builds confidence. This is really part of that sales process where we're making an assumption that we have the sale. But even once we get the sale, we need to walk through and explain to the customer what's going to happen. You have been through this hundreds, thousands of times. Your techs may have been doing this day after day for years. But for this homeowner, this may be the first time this has ever happened to them. They're letting someone come into their home. When I was a kid growing up, our house was robbed. And one of the worst things about being robbed for my mom was the fact that somebody came into our house, went through all of our drawers, went through all of our closets, saw our personal possessions, even opened up binders of things that were family photographs, probably looking for money or collectibles or anything like that. That moment of somebody she didn't know being in our house, rummaging around, was the worst part of being robbed. And yet when we go into somebody's house, many times we don't think we're in their personal space. If something has broken, a water heater is leaking, a toilet is leaking, something's happened, they really didn't want us there. And so we need to be mindful of that and explain what's happening. This eliminates those surprises so they can get more comfortable with you and with the process. And it's even a bonus if you ask, Is there anything else around the house that's been bothering you? It's a great way to spot some of that add-on work, things that because the moment, maybe they're caught up in the tension and they'd really like to have this fixed. And maybe at the end of the job, they bring it up and it would have been so much simpler and so much cheaper while your drywall guy was there that he could patch a quick hole, while your painter was there that maybe he already had paint that matches that room. So many things that can happen when you build that relationship with a customer open to those conversations. And then there's the wrap-up phase. This is where you're going to close the loop. You go over what was completed when we started. Maybe you show your own before and after photos, especially if it's relevant. Hey, here's what it looked like before. They remind you, here's what it looked like now. And then ask, are they happy? Invite that feedback. And always thank them sincerely. I had one group that I worked with, that whoever was on the job last, they kind of looked around, they got an idea of what the people liked. They like flowers, they like different things. They would leave a gift on the kitchen table. Many times it was flowers. They might ask the husband, if it's an older married couple, ask the husband what kind of flowers she likes, sees what's outside, sees what's in photos, and gift them the gift of flowers and a thank you card signed by everybody that was in their house for trusting them to do the work. And this is a place where so many customers miss this opportunity. They forget that this is an emotional experience. Connection isn't just about being nice. It's about being present. It's about being listening. It's about not constantly rushing through everything to get in, to do the work, and to get out. It's not treating the customer like they are an interruption in your day or just another item on the clipboard on your to-do list. I remember a technician who carried a small pack of dog treats in his service bag. When a customer had a dog, he'd ask permission to offer one. Customers often loved it. I mean, think about Starbucks and those little cups, little pet cups that they give. It showed attention. It showed care. And it was little things that made a big difference. A bag for a few dollars of dog treats that would last them weeks at a time made giant impacts on their customers. Stage number 3, connection after the sale. This is another place where we go so wrong. The only time we contact the customer is for payment. And after payment, we never contact them again. So let's talk about this. This is where most companies drop the ball. It's the follow-up after the job is done. You wouldn't believe how many companies, they do good work, they collect payments, and then they disappear. There's no thank you, there's no follow-up, there's no review request. It's just gone. And then they wonder why their referral business is flat. So let's fix that. Here's a simple 3-step post-job follow-up system that you can implement this week. It's simple. Same day thank you. Before the technician leaves, or within a few hours of completed job, send a personalized thank you note. You can leave it as a card in the house. You can send it via text or an email, or maybe it's one of your office staff that help manage the job can call and say, thank you. Use their name in the conversation, in the text, in the email. Let them know this is not automated. Be personable. Mention something specific about the job. Maybe even send them that before and after picture, because then they can pull it up and show their friends on their phone. 24-hour check-in. The next day, check in to see that everything's holding up. Ask if they have any questions and invite honest feedback. Sometimes in the excitement of getting things done, a customer may miss something that you missed or that your technician missed, and it ends up on that review. You get that bad review, or you get a review that you never see. Somebody posts something on Facebook for their friends or on Instagram. You never even know what's going on because you didn't ask. You ever been in a restaurant? It seems like right after you get your food, you're eating, you're halfway through, and a manager walks up and asks how things are. Well, one of the reasons why they do that is to catch when you are unhappy so they can fix it. Because if they don't fix it then, you may never come back. You may tell your friends, and their business drops. Simple question. quick touch point makes all the difference in the world. And that's also when we need to make that review request. This is the next step. After confirming that they are satisfied, ask for a quick review. Then suggest maybe the next service. This could be a seasonal checkup. We have our HVAC guy comes in once, twice a year, some years, and comes out and checks out our unit, makes sure everything is clean. Had the same thing done at my mom's house. She's retired, she's older, make sure that everything is taken care of. And that was offered after a service that we had when we had a failure in our unit. And then we started having that done on my parents' house as well. This seasonal checkup, you could offer a maintenance plan or just a reminder that, hey, we're here when you need us. We do 24/7. Here's a list of all our services. I can't tell you the number of times I have even been in a business-to-business scenario where I have gone in and spoken, and the customer, this client, this business has just hired somebody else to do exactly what you do. And the response has been, well, I didn't know you did that. I thought you just did this. Oh, no, we do that too. We do commercial work as well. Those reminders are where we really make impact with the customer. We're looking for those referrals. We're looking for opportunities. We're looking for word of mouth. That the majority of time happens in the follow-up after the job, not before, not during. So maybe you want to drop off a small thank you gift. Maybe it's something that's branded. It could be a candle or just a handwritten note from the owner that goes out every month. I had a client that did that as well every month. There was notes written from the owner of the business, just a short little handwritten note of thank you. And that one gesture, it makes you unforgettable. One client I worked with, he was an electrician. He started doing this quarterly email newsletter with home tips and offering specials, especially in their downtime, seasonality. It wasn't anything fancy. It was just helpful content, a reminder of who they were. And within a year, their repeat business grew by 30%. Why? Because they stayed connected to their customers. Intentionally look. None of this happens by accident. You must be very intentional. And that's really the secret to connection. If you're going to build a business people remember, refer, and return back to you, it has to be on purpose. And connection requires some things. It requires some systems. These things just don't happen automatically. It requires training. Training so that your customers know what to expect, because it happens that way every time with everyone. Everyone knows how to answer the phone. Everyone knows how to explain your documents. Everybody knows what your guarantees are. Everybody knows how the scheduling works. Everybody knows what the process is. And in that, that's where you get that culture. So that every time that they contact you, they get the same good feeling. They get the same look of what the technicians look like, what your trucks look like, how they act, and what to expect. So, hey, they came out here. They were great with me also. Here's exactly what happened. Systems, training, and culture around how you're going to treat people. You've got to equip your team. You've got to give them some scripts they can start with. Not everybody does this naturally. You've got to practice some of those soft skills. Talk about how to handle those difficult conversations. You know what questions are coming up. You've already answered them. Keep that and make that part of your training. And celebrate the stories of connection, the stories of problems and how you handled them, what you expect. That teaches so much. And most of all, you have to be the one to model it. Your customers cannot be a problem. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9, offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Without grumbling. I cannot tell you the number of offices I've been in where the biggest grumbler about customer issues, customer questions, about scheduling was from the owner. That sets up the wrong atmosphere, the wrong culture for your team. That word hospitality means more than just being nice. It means making people feel welcome, valued, and seen, and you showing that even when there are no customers around. When you build that into your business, you don't just end up building a customer base. You're building this community of support that is going to fight for you in the downtimes. Recently had a local restaurant that was running into issues because of construction all around their building. Their parking lot was torn up. The road they were on was closed for 6 months. A customer had to park down the street and walk a half a block, a quarter of a mile, at times a half a mile to get to their restaurant. The community surrounded them, began making orders, hey, let's do some catering. That community that you build is your business. So, today we've talked about a lot. We've talked about real customer connection, what it looks like before the job. Respond quickly, follow up with value, even maybe before you've done an estimate. You know that it is a job. Make them feel cared for. They'll still recommend you. During the job, create an experience for them. Communicate well. Add little touches that show that you care. And after the job, follow up intentionally. Invite those reviews and keep the door open for future work. Connection isn't one thing. It's everything. Your customers are your business, and if you don't connect, you're not going to have a business for long. And honestly, a lot of this stuff doesn't cost much of anything to implement. Cost of a few cards, but what's a text cost? An email. It just takes intention. So here's an action plan for this week. Choose one stage of the customer journey where your business needs better connection. Write out a simple script or a checklist to improve it. Train your team. Start this very week. And if you need help creating those systems, join me for a powerful 30-minute masterclass. It's the 5 biggest mistakes that keep home service businesses from scaling. In that class, it's 30 minutes. 30 minutes that can change your attitudes, show you exactly what to work on. Yes, there'll be an offer at the end. It's not a pitch fest. I want to help you be able to grow your business. And I'll walk you through the pitfalls that keep most owners stuck and show you how to break through those really, really fast. So just reserve your spot right now. It's 5mistakesmasterclass.com and start transforming your business today. And if you'd like, you'll find out on that class exactly how you can work with me one-on-one personally. And we can move your business forward like you've never seen. So don't forget to like and subscribe. In our next episode, we're going to be wrapping up the brick method. Keep growing. I'll show you how to scale your business without losing your soul in the process. And I've been there, gotten past it. I've helped other people. Let me show you how. Until then, keep building with purpose. Your customers are counting on you to be more than just a contractor. They're looking for someone they can trust. You can be that business. I'll see you next time.